From the WTKN studios in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, it is the Regular Joe Show. I am Dominic Santoro, your average Joe. And the Regular Joe Show was sponsored by the Lake Agency, auto, home, life, residential, or commercial. Call the Lake Agency for all of your insurance needs. Conveniently located on Bypass 17, north in Surfside Beach. Give them a call at 843-685-9073. Also, Pizza 501, truly authentic New York-style pizza right here in the heart of the Grand Strand. Located in the Food Line Shopping Center on 501. Try Pizza 501s for some truly authentic Italian pizza and pasta dishes. And Miss Chris Ghost in History Tour on Murrells Inlet Marshwalk. If you like legends and lore of Murrells Inlet, this is a tour you don't want to miss. Tour runs from March till November. Call Miss Chris at 843-655-4470 to reserve your spot now. And I am happy to say we have a very special guest host in the studio today. I think Brian was a little afraid if I did this on my own. It's Mr. Rob Krouse. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing very well.
Oh, good, good. And in our first segment, we have three members of the Sweetgrass Band. We have Rich, Bill, and Ed. How you guys doing?
We're doing
great.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, very good. So you guys know Brian, who used to be my co-host, who's now running for office, who can't be on the show. But how did you guys get started in the music industry?
Well, I started when I was 6 years old playing accordion. I grew up in an Italian household, so...
Of course you play the accordion.
I had to learn how to play the accordion. But you know what? It taught me discipline, because my dad made me practice every day, and every Sunday morning I had to play songs for him. So
that was you waking the neighbors up.
That's it. With that little squeeze box.
How did you guys meet? Because all of you are from, New York and Connecticut, but you never met up there. You met down here.
We met down here. I was putting together. I wanted to put together a horn band, really, and then I decided not to, and interviewed a bunch of people, played with a bunch of people, and then we finally got to where we are great. And I love the people that are in the band right now. Bill plays a great guitar. Ed, I call him the funk master. He plays bass. Ellie Vincent is our singer. Jerry Miller's our drummer. And Gus Vitale is our sax player.
Yeah, Gus is a good guy. Gus knows how to play the sax. He plays it pretty good. But how long have you guys been together? I mean...
Well, the six of us together have been together around 3 years now.
Okay.
So who you see now has been about 3 years now. But there's been a lot of history prior, as Rich just mentioned. Prior to the 3 years, would have been an evolution of...
The book is coming out soon.
Yeah, we said we're gonna. I think we're on. What are we on? Chapter 18 right now.
We're on chapter 18.
Yeah. It's kind of funny in a way.
Now we have the mayor here, and you guys wanted to play a gig in Surfside Beach. Where do you guys do most of your gigs?
We go anywhere from Ocean Isle all the way down to Georgetown. We've played.
That includes Surfside.
Including Surfside.
Yep, yeah,
So I am going to handcuff the mayor here.
Oh boy, here we go. No, let's not use that terminology, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am going to tie him to my car.
No.
With the calendar until we get a date.
Wait a minute.
No, we can't do that.
I hear sirens out there. You're going to get arrested.
Trust me, if you hear the helicopter, Rob, just get on the roof. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, Rob.
No problem.
I'll call Tabitha.
Tabitha is our events
we would love to play
coordinator, and I guarantee you she'll set it up.
Now, are you guys? Is this your only job? Are you guys retired, or what did you do before this?
Well, I'm retired. We're all retired.
Obviously.
Yeah, and it's just been a hobby of mine since same thing since I was 8 or 9.
Well, what did you do for a living before you?
I did commercial real estate property up in Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I had various jobs. My main background is in finance, and then I actually started working for major banks in the last 15 years or so.
And Mr. Rinaldi?
I was a general manager of a car dealership.
Where?
In Waterbury, Connecticut.
There you go. See?
And what better place to a bunch of Connecticut people meet than Grand Strand?
The Grand Strand. And one place Surfside Beach.
In Surfside Beach, we have a lot of them, and from the surrounding area as well. So.
And
you do.
It's a lot of fun. Bill said, it's been 3 years. There has been many before, and it's just.
Well, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this: what do you guys like most about playing with each other? Keep it clean.
What are you trying to say? Our minds are in the gutter?
No, that pause made me think you guys were thinking something.
It was pretty obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think we all appreciate each other's abilities and talents, our desire
Right.
to get it right. You know, everybody's pretty committed to their own instrument and trying to make sure that when we do something, since we are a cover band, you want to make it as authentic as you can.
Right.
And of course, the best part of it all is when we're playing and we've got an audience that's very interactive and dancing, and the energy is there, and it's nothing better than that, really.
No, absolutely.
Great feeling.
Now, when you guys are a cover band, you guys got to pay royalties to the bands that you got to cover, or
No, because we change them up. We change the song up a little bit.
okay,
We don't do it exactly.
okay.
So-
Good. I know a real pain in the butt is Mr. Don Henley. If you do anything of his songs, he wants money.
No, we if you change it up, that's why we don't sell anything.
Okay.
Good to know. We were just going to try to give a couple of Don Henley.
You could try to boys of summer.
I'll be doing that one now.
Yeah.
I'm in the hot seat for the first time. Look at this. The first time of the show, I'm in the hot seat. You guys have got a website? If people want to take a look at it?
More than it, we have our Facebook page.
What's the Facebook
The
page?
Facebook page is Sweetgrass Band.
Okay.
And if you type it in on Google or on Facebook, a bunch come up, but it's a picture of the six of us on there. That's the actual site.
You got an email address?
No, it's mine. It's just
It's
mine.
just your personal email address.
Yeah,
Okay, so
it's R.J. Rinaldi, Rinaldi 0815 @gmail.com.
when's your next show?
Where people can come and see us, it's actually the 19th of April. It's
Okay.
at Chagru's in North Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
And then May the 4th is at Feast OIB in Ocean Isle Beach. And then we have the 12th at Patios. And I know I'm forgetting
And now,
one or
is
two.
Sundown? We
Sundown.
That's our territory.
Yeah, it's our
Yes.
territory.
It's either the second or I think it's the 2nd or 3rd of May. We're playing Sundown.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, love that
people,
place.
I always post on our Facebook page the events
Okay.
that we're going to be playing, and I do it. Sometimes he says to me, "Do you have to do it every day?"
Well, you know what? Listen, not for nothing. If you don't, people in today's day and age with the digital creativity and the digital marketing, they update it every day because people check it every single day.
That's right.
You know,
That's
if they
true.
want to do it. If you could get them to get into Surfside,
Well,
we'll do a video with them.
Did I
How's
miss-
that sound?
Did I miss
Sundown.
one?
Sundown is right
Great.
downtown Surfside Beach.
I think I missed one.
We'll put in
Or
the plug
Louis.
for him right now,
We have it
and
right on.
When is
see
it?
if we can pack the
The
place
10th.
out.
Okay.
And we
Yeah,
we
we'd
also
love
have
that.
May the 10th, and thank you for that. That would be great. But May the 10th, we're at Bar Louie in Myrtle Beach.
Okay. And when are you at Sundown?
May the 3rd.
May the 3rd.
That is a Friday. isn't
Friday
it?
night.
That's a Friday
That
night.
sounds great.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
So I'll be there. I know he is going to be. Lou is probably doing his own gig since he's a keyboardist. But I think Justin
So
and
am
I. I think Justin and I will be there with. If you can get
That'd be
tapping in
great.
there, and
Oh,
we'll,
yeah.
Yeah, May the
we'll get out
3rd.
there and we'll do it.
That's terrific.
I want to thank you guys for coming on, but one last question for you guys.
Sure.
Okay. How long did it take you to hone your craft playing those instruments? Because I know
Still working on
still
it.
still
working
working
on
on
it,
it.
right?
But it's just it's a love of doing it. It's a great hobby. And
If a teenager, 20-year-old person is listening to this, what's the biggest advice you could give them that they're in a band? What's the biggest piece of advice that you could tell them other than don't give up?
just pick it up and start playing. Don't worry about the lessons right away. Just
And
start
lessons
to
today
have a
aren't
lot of fun.
and lessons today are not cheap.
Yeah.
They're not.
Just have fun. You got
That's-
to have fun.
That's the great part about today versus when we grew up is that the tools available to learn, either it's YouTube or what have you. I mean, there's so much out there today to really learn your craft and to develop your own style too.
I learned it by fingering and bar chords and everything like that. But it's something when you pick up an electric guitar and you pick it up and you play that, that E string, you play that E chord, and it just goes through the amp and it just vibrates and it sends that right to your chest, and that's what gets everybody going for it. You know.
That's what he always says when I play. Bring it down, bring it down.
You sure you want these guys to stop sucking?
No, we have a good sound man. Don't
No,
worry
we have
about
a great sound guy.
I thank you guys for being on.
Well, thank
and
you
we'll
for
put
having us. It
We're
was
going to put it
a
on the
privilege.
Facebook page. We're going to put it on our Facebook page, our web page, and everything else. The links to them. We'll be right back on the Regular Joe Show right after this. And we are back on the Regular Joe Show. We got a little more room in the studio now. Just, you know, those guys were great. Those guys were great. And seriously, if you get them in Surfside, we'll come and shoot a video with it, and you know. Throw it on the website.
I'm looking forward to the visit to Sundown in a couple of weeks.
Okay. We know your position, but let me ask you a question. You know that Horry County schools are now being inundated with students who don't speak English?
It's a problem in a lot of places, yes.
Yeah, I mean, not only here in Horry County, but David Hucks told me there was like close to 12 or 13,000 students coming from Africa that don't speak English, and they're in the school districts. How you're in a political position, and I'm just going to ask you this: how, from your standpoint, how do you let that get this far?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
but I'm just saying, if you're the mayor of a town, wouldn't you stop and think that maybe some of these teachers or somebody should say, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Well, sure. I mean, we don't have any schools in Surfside Beach
Right.
itself. All of our students go to St. James and
Right.
so forth. But yeah, it's a problem. I mean, it's a problem in the whole country, the way we're not monitoring immigration at all anymore. So it's going to create these kind of problems.
It's blown my mind that I know there was the whole thing, remember, no student, no child left behind. But how can you still pass a child who can't read or write English, which is the language of this country last time I checked?
I don't understand. I don't think it's good for any people that come into the country to not learn the language and culture. If I were going somewhere else and planning to live there, not just to visit or temporary work, I would think I better learn the language and culture and adapt to it.
I thought it was an interesting article that was on Channel 13. It was the CBS or the ABC website, I don't remember. And they said that of the students coming in, and David even verified this, they're coming from the Congo in Africa. Okay, I understand that, but how are they getting here? This is what confuses me. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad. I thought I was the only one who had that issue, but you're coming from the Congo in Africa. It's not like you're crossing the street to come into Mexico, to the United States. It's not like you're crossing, a wall. You're crossing an ocean to get here, okay? And then the other thing is, some of these students that have come here, we had Miss Doherty on a couple of weeks ago about the human trafficking, and I don't understand how anybody can let this all go, especially if our higher officials in Washington. You think they would do something? I don't know. But I know every place in this country has this issue. How can we, as Horry County citizens, what could we do? Who do we get in touch with to say that this is enough, that these people have to stop coming?
Well, I'm not sure that we can do a whole lot more from our level. Congressman Fry was actually at Dagwoods in Surfside Beach about 10 days ago,
Yeah,
I think.
right.
And,
It was the week before, I think, yeah.
And that did come up that, some migrants had been dropped off in the Grand Strand, and he wrote to, Secretary Mayorkas, and, he told us right,
Yeah.
to all of us that I don't expect to get any response. If you've got that kind of attitude from the top of the federal government, I don't know what you can do.
No. Yeah.
But we need to control the border and control the country. And you're right that there's a lot of people obviously participating in this because they're coming from every continent.
Yeah.
And they're not all coming on rafts and walking here. So
like I said, you got to cross an
somebody's bringing
ocean.
them.
Exactly.
Right. Somebody's bringing them.
Now, this leads me to another thing, which is actually pretty good. The housing boom in Horry County. It is exploding through the roof. Have you seen a large upscale in home building and sales in Surfside?
Well, we have very few vacant
Yeah,
properties.
I know that because I keep looking and nothing comes up.
But having said that, there's construction going on all over town. Every available lot is being purchased and built out, and that's fine. And you know, all the new houses are very nice places and all that. It's upgrading our community, and that's fine. But we are, I won't say immune to the Horry County problem, because I mean it's
all over.
It all surrounds us, and Business 17 is, you know, I mean, we're getting very close to the point where it's just going to become a standstill for certain parts of the day for the next few months.
And that's exactly what's coming up. And it's the same thing on 501. It's the same thing on, Bypass 17. Put a new putt-putt course I saw on Business 17. Business 17.
Yeah, that was the one that they tore down the
And
existing one
and
and
they're putting
went
up a new
right
one?
in to put up a new one, and moving along pretty quickly. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be interesting because that other one was it was old.
Yeah, it was pretty dated.
It was pretty dated.
It's fine. It happens. It happens to all of us.
No, I think on one hole there was no cup for the ball to go into. You had to put your whole hand down and get the ball out.
And somebody needed to put a beer cup under there or something, I guess.
Now, he said that, folks, not me, but I think he's got a good point. Let me ask you this. With the housing and everything, do you, where I come from, and I know you're from up north, you do a survey and a study first before you build, and you worry about the infrastructure. Why don't they do that first down here?
I don't know. Again, that's Horry County more than Surfside.
But if you're going to build something at Surfside, you're going to do a study on it. You're going to have your people go out and you look at it, and you would think the same thing would happen in either Myrtle Beach, Pawleys Island, Garden City, Burgess, Murrells Inlet. You would think would happen all over. Is it that expensive, or is it just that they don't want to be bothered doing it, that they just want to grow?
I think we're still, when you look at coastal regions, even though our values have gone up like crazy, we're still a very affordable market, compared to the rest of the East Coast.
Absolutely.
And I think it's, maybe a bit of a rush to develop sometimes. I'd like to see a little more order in the process myself. But on the other hand, I can't begrudge everybody who's following the same idea I had a few years ago, and my wife.
I had the same idea too. Okay, except I retired. You took on another job.
Well, I retired and then went back, but yes.
Well, what'd you guys, anything special in Surfside for the eclipse that happened on Monday?
Actually, it was kind of interesting. We had our budget review that day, and we eclipsed the budget review a little bit early, and we were all able to go out and watch it with our glasses on, of course, as it went over the Holiday Inn in Surfside Beach. Yes, that's where we had the budget review.
That's where we had the Holiday Inn. The funny thing is, I was in Columbia the last time they had the 2017, I think it was, and it's eerie. It's very eerie. And it's more eerie, I think, not having a total eclipse because it gets dark.
Right,
and
right.
It's dark during a total eclipse, and you expect the darkness. But when you get the sun and you get the moon that crosses in between the sun and the earth, and you're like, it's a little strange out here. It's not quite bright. It's almost overcast type. And my wife, like I said, who works at the VA, one of her coworkers came out with a great idea. He took a piece of old X-ray film and put it over his glasses, and he looked up, and and it worked without a problem. I mean, whatever works, it works.
And he can still see.
You could still.
Okay, that's good.
Well, I think he drove to work this morning. I'm not sure. I have no idea. Getting back to the housing, do you think, on a personal level, do you think the housing market will ever level out down here? Where, I mean, you got people coming from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, where you're from, and they're paying $1 million in cash for houses sight unseen. Do you think this is ever going to level out, or is it just going to continue to rise?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, it's got to level out, plateau somewhat, but I mean, this is a very attractive area. I've been here about 5 years now, and not looking back.
5 years, and you're already mayor of a town.
Yes.
Oh, there's something wrong with me. I'm here 20, and I'm not, and I'm just on a radio show.
Well,
but I mean, think about it. I worry. the kid, I call him the kid, he's 37 years old, bought a house now in Michigan for $700,000.
Yeah.
And 5-6 years ago, that house was only $350,000.
Yeah, it's got to level off at some point. I mean, or it's going to start going backwards. It has to. You
If it goes
you can't
backwards, we got to
sustain this.
Yeah, my biggest fear is what happened, when the housing market
2007, 8 range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To quote a friend of mine, he says, "Oh yes, I went from being a billionaire to a millionaire. My life stinks." But I mean, it's rough. When I'll never forget it. I went to Home Depot to get some lumber. I was doing a project at home, and I had a equity line of credit, and it's like, "Oh, your card's declined." Washington Mutual cut it off. I'm like, wait a minute. Washington Mutual's a major bank. Oh, you go home that night. Washington Mutual's now decided to close its buildings and its funds and calling all its loans. But when we come back, we're going to talk restaurants, specifically in Surfside and Neil and Pam's.
Okay.
We're going to do that. We'll be back on the Regular Joe Show right after this. And we are back here on the Regular Joe Show. And no, we are not going separate ways just yet. We still have some time left on the show. Let's talk restaurants. I know you got a favorite restaurant in Surfside, and I think I know what it is, and it's actually a pretty good one too. Neil and Pam's.
Yeah, that's a great spot.
What do you-
I love it. Yeah.
What do you get when you? I know you said you tend to be on the casual end of things, and I don't blame you. But when you go there, what do you look forward to getting there?
Oh, the sandwiches mostly. That's what I do. Sandwich and a couple of beers.
Sandwich, a couple of beers.
It's not. You can't go wrong.
What is your favorite food?
My favorite food?
Yeah.
Well, a good steak is
Okay.
always going to be
A good
yeah.
steak. Is there,
I know I'm in the seafood world, though.
right, but I mean, there is really no steakhouse. Well, yeah, there is, and there's one in. Oh my God, I just can't think of the name of it. Oh my God, it's on Business 17 in Merle's.
Merle's, yeah, I guess I'm not sure.
J. Peters. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, okay,
Oh, my
yeah. I
God.
go down there on the Marsh Walk. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I know you like Neil and Pam's. You ever been to Valentino's?
Yes.
Okay. Have you met Sal?
It was earlier, so I probably didn't know him. I may have met him, but
Okay.
I
Just
wouldn't
don't
notice,
tell him
so.
you know me.
Okay.
That's
All right.
okay.
I'll keep that in
Okay.
mind.
When you go there, ask for Kate to be your waitress. You and your wife, you'll be great. Just don't tell Sal you know me because
Okay.
he's like, where have you been? I know, talking to you for years. The restaurants down here now are now becoming over the top. Honestly, let's be realistic with it. We went to Justin. Where was it? Moe's Barbecue, right? About 2 weeks ago, and it's in North Myrtle Beach, and it's the same original Moe's Barbecue that's down on Pawleys Island.
Okay.
You could go into Moe's and you could get a whole dinner for $20 a person, and I mean that's your entree, your two sides, and a drink, and some hush puppies. You can't get that anywhere else. No. You can't. Okay. Con Cafe. I know. Have you visited the Con Cafe?
Oh yeah, yeah. Con Cafe is a regular spot.
A regular spot for you?
Yeah.
Misty's. We did a video for her a couple of weeks ago, and she was really into it. But what in the Grand Strand area? What do you think people? I mean, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm Italian. I'll go to an Italian restaurant just to try it out. You said steak, but when people come down here on vacation, and they got a budget to sit by because they're coming down with the 4 kids, the mother-in-law, and everything else, what would be the place that you would go to as a family? Because it comes from me, I know what I've been thinking about, but what would you do? And you don't have to plug any particular restaurant. It doesn't have to be in Surfside. It could be anywhere along the Grand Strand. What would you be looking for? Because a lot of people email me saying, hey, we're coming down. We're looking for a family restaurant. I got 4 kids. I don't want to break the bank. I know the seafood buffet is a great big time with the adults, but the kids don't want all the fish that's up there. They walk in there and go, oh, my God, it stinks. But, I mean, what would you recommend? Coming from somebody who is not always going to go to an Italian restaurant, who's not always going to go for a steak, but what would you recommend for like a burger and a beer and, the wife and the 4 kids?
Well, I'm going to be partial to Surfside Beach
Right.
Anyway, but I mean, we do have the burger places, River City and Bruiser's Burgers.
Right.
They're good. The whole E-District, or maybe we're going to call it Pier Village. We haven't decided that
Okay.
yet. But,
Okay. Well, listen.
all of those down there are casual, family-oriented, still reasonably priced for today's world.
Exactly. Listen, I went to Chick-fil-A for lunch with my wife on Saturday. It was like $35.
Yeah. It's not cheap.
It's not cheap anymore. I mean, remember when I first found Chick-fil-A, when I first started coming down here, chicken sandwich was like $2.99. It's now like $13.
Yeah.
And you get Justin shaking his head. You got a Chick-fil-A on campus?
Yeah.
You do? And is it that expensive?
I don't know. I won't mess with it. I saw some like videos online about how it's like cooked and stuff, and like
It's cooked in pickle juice.
if somebody left like a Chick-fil-A sandwich and a homemade one next to each other for months, and the Chick-fil-A sandwich had no mold on it. Mold wouldn't even touch it after like 3 months, and I was like, I'm never eating that again. So not to ruin it for everybody else.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
No. Beach access, I think, is easy all along the Grand Strand. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, beach access is good. Parking is a little more difficult, but
We won't go down that road.
yes.
Yeah.
Once you get
But-
once you
but-
find a spot, then
But parking is difficult from
Everywhere.
Little River down to Georgetown.
yes.
Anywhere you go. And I don't know. My wife and I belong to the state parks, and there's the Myrtle Beach State Park, there's the Huntington Beach State Park. If you're not there by 8 o'clock in the morning online, you're not getting in.
Yeah, I've seen they're even reserving spots now. I think.
I mean,
you know,
Why is it you're in a political situation? I'm not. I get up in the morning. I do what I need to do. Do you see most of the is it mostly tourists? Is it the residents? I mean, listen, Huntington Beach State Park is beautiful. You got restrooms. You could go there. It's not a problem. It's beautiful. Same thing with Myrtle Beach State Park. But why do you have to be there like the crack of dawn to get into the park?
well, we were talking about the housing a little while ago. I mean, there
Okay,
are.
so all right.
I mean,
thought
there's a lot of residents, but yeah, we're getting to the point now. Once even before Memorial Day, Bike Week.
you got
comes,
2 bike weeks coming up, right?
Yeah, it's just going to be packed everywhere. So the same issues apply with traffic, with parking. Everybody's coming down here for the same reasons we did. It's a beautiful place to live and visit.
It really, truly is. I'll be honest with you. It's a beautiful place to visit. We mentioned fireworks displays for the 4th of July. You guys got anything coming up?
I think we're going to be doing that. We
You're gonna
haven't. We're working out our budget right now, but I think the
Just don't set
4th
any
of-
houses
yeah.
on fire.
Well, we'll be out. We have a pier now. We have a pier that is open.
I didn't go there. You went down that rabbit hole. I
Well.
didn't. Speaking of the pier, it's open to the public.
It is.
Okay, you're gonna get some businesses in it.
Yes, we Drippy's Ice Cream is already open.
It is open.
They opened the day that we did the surprise opening. So yeah,
Yeah.
we clued them in, and they said we're ready to go. So we were giving away free hot dogs and cake, and when we ran out of that, Drippy's was there to sell ice cream, and they
And-
had a great first night.
And Justin, why did you notify us of this? That there was free ice cream and hot dogs to go over there.
It was a surprise. We told nobody.
I know that we had that little conversation. Be able to fish off of it?
Yeah, we're still working out with Perry's Bait and Tackle, which has a store right next to the Marsh Walk area.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're the ones that are going to be doing the bait and tackle, and managing our fishing, and they are getting very close to opening up, and then they can they can handle it because we have to take DNR counts and all that kind of stuff.
Now, if somebody wants a fishing permit, do they have to go to your town or the town they live in to get one to fish off the pier?
No, the town holds a license.
Okay.
So there's a fee, but you don't need a license because the town has
You hear
it.
that, sir? Because you.
I got my license.
Oh, I'm just making sure, dude. You know, you could have a 4th of July display, fireworks display. Another question pertaining to the Grand Strand. How do I put this? Accidents, fatalities. I mean, do you think it's just a lack of people not paying attention, or is it just? I mean, listen, you go down 17, business 17, 90, 501. They're doing 70 miles an hour in a 55 or a 45 zone. People can't cross that street. And really, folks, if I was you, I wouldn't cross 501. I would cross business 17 by the Marsh Walk. I would cross business 17 where the food line is going across the street to Ocean Lakes. It's not Ocean Lakes. It's the
Food Line in
Yeah,
Surfside Beach is
yeah.
Melody Lane.
Melody Lane.
So
yeah.
by Hamburger Joe's. And
Right,
all that. Yeah,
exactly.
right.
I would cross the street there because there's a traffic wall. What do you think could be done to prevent this? I'm asking you just as Bob Krouse. I mean, Rob. Sorry, I can't. Rob, I
That's
keep
fine.
forgetting.
That's fine. I mean, you do have to be aware, and again, the traffic is pretty intense, and especially at this time of year as we're heading into the warmer weather. We have a lot of lights in our area, and it does control. Of course, that slows down the traffic, maybe makes people more frustrated and they want to take off afterwards. But I in the South Strand, at least, I don't see, the huge speeding all the time. I mean, they're going 55 or so in a 45 zone, but I don't see too many 70s. And if I do, I just let them go
pull
by.
over this.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just keep on moving. Don't bother me.
You have when you were on the show the last time when you were running for office, you brought out a good point that you could only control what is in your power to control, the driving, the traffic, and everything. But people need to also be aware of their surroundings, like you just said. And you brought that up when you came in last year when you first started running. What should people, speaking as a mayor, what should people be aware when they go through Surfside? I mean, what is the biggest, I don't want to say traffic, what is the biggest thing they need to be concerned of driving on Business 17?
Well, I mean, that we do have a lot of pedestrians,
Right.
a lot of tourists.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, you just have to be watching. A lot of motorcycles.
Correct.
So, you got to be aware and always looking all around. I mean, the same stuff they teach you in driver's ed. We just have to take it seriously.
But we took driver's ed almost 40-something years ago, buddy.
Yeah, but it hasn't really changed a whole lot, and, it's still the way to do it.
All right, we'll be back with the happenings around the Grand Strand on the Regular Joe Show with my special guest, Mr. Mayor Krouse. We'll be back. And now we're back on the Regular Joe Show with the mayor of Surfside, Lou on the other side of the glass, Justin doing our video, and we're going to talk about some events that are going to be going on. We mentioned the fireworks that you guys may be doing in Surfside. There's the SOS Spring Safari, Thursday, April 18th to Sunday, April 28th. That's in North Myrtle Beach. You ever get up to North Myrtle Beach?
Once in a while. I
You
gotta admit, I'm
venture
more a
on
South
out.
Strander, but yes.
You venture on out
do,
of the cocoon.
And it's nice. It's nice, but I'm partial to the South Strand.
Well, you have no choice. The Ocean Drive Beach and Music Festival. That's Saturday, May 4th at 10 at 100 South Ocean Boulevard in North Myrtle Beach. The next one we have, the next day, is Cinco de Mayo, and that's pretty much all over the Grand Strand. My wife says, "Oh, look at all the banners and all the celebrations they're doing for my birthday." My wife's birthday is May 5th. The good thing is Carolina Opry's got some really good shows coming up, and I don't know, you seem like a rock and roll guy. George Thorogood and the Destroyers.
I do remember George Thorogood.
They're coming up at the Carolina Opry. Johnny Mathis, in case you want to, romanticize your wife and. Justin wants to bring his girlfriend and fall asleep at a concert. So you go listen to Johnny Mathis. No, but Johnny Mathis is actually pretty good. There's a Johnny Cash tribute. And again, this is all at the Carolina Opry Theater. So you basically go to their website and they'll give you all of the information. And, of course, we have the Miss Chris, the Inlet Walking Tours. That's Ghost and History Tour. You're familiar with the lore of the land down here, right? The Gray Man?
Yeah, a little bit. I actually heard your show with her week or two ago.
He actually listens to the show.
I did. Yeah.
You have no idea how good that makes me feel. She does a pretty good walking tour, and she does also haunted locations, houses and restaurants and stuff like that. She's pretty good. There's also in Georgetown the ship that's there now that's for touring. I forgot the name of the ship. I should be more prepared. I had it. You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
It's
I don't know the name.
You don't know the name.
Yes,
It's in the Georgetown
right.
Harbor. But there are a couple of things coming up. The summer is coming up rapidly. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful weekend. It's going to be a beautiful week coming up. But you guys are going to have lifeguards out on the beach?
Yes. Yeah, we have
Okay.
beach service does our they contract the lifeguards for
Okay.
us. Yeah,
And that's I'm pretty sure that's pretty much up and down the Grand Strand. They have the lifeguards. There was a restaurant we wanted to talk about. We forgot all about it. Brentwood. You've never been there, right?
I have not.
Okay. This was given to David Hux, who's the original, who's one of the co-hosts who's usually with me. He posted this on Facebook, and you know what? It's not bad. It's brunch with live music. So maybe we could get Sweetgrass.
Yeah.
to go there for the music. It's they got the Brentwood breakfast, the bistro breakfast, Western omelet, seafood omelet, French toast, breakfast burrito, crepe Suzette, the triple stack pancakes, and I'm sure Justin is probably getting hungry as I'm speaking about this. They got salmon and steak for lunch, crab cakes, chocolate cake. Now, I've never been there, but if David says it is a worth the trip to get up there, I would do it for only one reason. I would go there. They have Bellinis.
Okay.
That's the originating in Venice. With the Bellini is a sophisticated brunch cocktail made with prosecco, peach puree, and a fruity, slightly sweet and wonderful effervescent soda.
That doesn't sound bad for a wake up.
Doesn't sound bad
That's
for a
okay,
wake
yeah.
up. Okay. You sangria guy?
I'm more beer and
More beer.
beer, Scotch, bourbon.
Beer, Scotch, and bourbon. Oh, no wonder you know George Thorough good.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
One bourbon, well, yes.
Okay. We mentioned your fireworks. Also, going on, that's going to be this 4th of July. Don't they have the boat parade? One of the
We don't do that Surfside.
where is that done?
Isn't that in the Merle's Inlet area?
Is it the Marsh Walk that does
I
the boat
think
parade?
so.
They do the boat parade for the 4th of July. Also coming up, we said we got the 2 bike weeks coming up. That's going to bring some more industry, more people to the Grand Strand. And one major place that I forgot to talk about that's in Surfside is the Flapjacks.
Mm-hmm.
You ever been there for breakfast?
I have not. No.
Flapjacks is pretty darn good.
Okay.
There's also Millstone Biscuit Company.
Yes, I've been down there.
Yeah. Scott is a really, is a friend of mine. And he just opened one up on Pawleys Island. He's good for breakfast. You and the wife, what do you go out for? More breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
A little bit of everything. Breakfast in our area, Golden Egg is
Yeah.
a great place, and of course, you probably saw Lawrence Jones from Fox there, and that place got packed out completely. Probably good the fire marshal didn't come in that day, but
Nah, it's okay. I think you may know somebody. God forbid anything. Lou, when you go out with the better half, what do you do? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Whatever time of day it is. I like eggs all day. So it
You
doesn't
like
really
eggs all
matter.
day?
Yeah.
So now, but you live all the way up in the North Strand. So would you
Yes.
travel down to the South
Oh,
Strand?
yeah. We
You
do.
think he should try Millstone Biscuit Company?
oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
He's got
I'll write it down.
he's got something called Highway 17, which is the grits with bacon bits in it, with the cheddar and the big homemade buttermilk biscuit that's
Okay.
like that big. He's got scrambled eggs with it, and it's a whole dish. It's like $16.99, but it's a whole dish.
Yeah.
And you have that for breakfast, you're not going to be hungry until dinner.
That's not a bad way to go.
No, it's not. Is there a new Eggs Up grill that opened up on Business 17?
There's several of them around. I guess I'm not sure. I
yeah,
haven't seen one.
Because I thought a new Eggs Up grill opened up in Business 17, not too far from a Italian brick oven pizza place.
Okay.
Is. Eggs Up grill is also good,
Yeah.
but you like the steaks.
Yeah. I don't usually eat a steak for breakfast, but I mean, actually, I like the country fried steak.
Country fried
that's
steak.
always
Have you ever tried Angelo's?
Yes. Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah.
Have you ever gone up to North and done Umberto's?
No, I haven't done that.
If you want a really good steak,
Okay.
Umberto's has New York strip filet, and they have a double pork chop with vinegar cherry peppers, and it's served with garlic mashed or baked potato loaded. It's out of this world.
Okay.
You don't need a knife to cut
One
it.
of each.
You
Okay.
want of each. I like this guy. There is also another restaurant that is in Merle's Inlet, Russell's.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got good burgers. Like you like burger and a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Russell's.
Well,
He's
of course,
got-
they do seafood. I mean, all of those places do good seafood.
You
so,
cannot-
yes.
you cannot throw a stone without hitting a seafood restaurant down here.
Yes.
Okay, it's like it makes us nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. But I got to thank you for being on. You did fine. You did great.
Well, thank you.
Well, I mean, listen, it was a pretty quiet week. There was just the eclipse on Monday. Nothing spectacular happened. Nothing overboard. Thank God it was a quiet week around here. Nobody anybody, nothing major, unless they're trying to, Mayorkas, they're trying to impeach him. But, that all
Yeah.
happens. Everybody's got their skeletons in the closet, and I'll be honest with you, don't throw stones unless you're in somebody's shoes.
Well, I will say with my first endeavor into politics, yeah, it's a little tricky
What
sometimes.
did you do before the politics?
I was an engineer, automotive engineer.
Oh, gee, oh, God, he should know my father. Oh, my God. The man who works for Ferrari, you should meet my father, an automotive engineer.
Most of my time was General Motors and more in the truck division than had nothing to do with the racing team. But anyway,
My father
it was
on
not
a
bad.
My father was on a Formula One side, but I mean, now I got to get my father down here to meet him. For this, where'd you go to college?
Carnegie Mellon, Pittsburgh.
And you worked for GM in Detroit, or
Yeah, Detroit area. Yeah.
Detroit area? Well, folks, you got it right from the mayor's mouth. He used to be an engineer, and now he's a mayor. He got into politics. We're going to be back next week, hopefully with some real estate news. David Hux will be back. He'll talk about local happenings and more news. Visit David Hux's page, myrtlebeachsc.com. And if you want a copy of the show or want to see the show, go to whattheaveragejoeknows.com. Go to YouTube and The Average Joe Day. And what else we got, Justin? Oh, SMP, Social Media Productions. Justin, go check him out on Instagram. Guys, have a good week. Rob, thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Pleasure.
much.
No, thank you. Louie, later, brother.
Have a good one.
Listen to me. One drinking enough.